All right, so I'm doing something a little bit different in regards to these story prompts. Normally, when I do story prompts, they come sort of from all different sources, and I've found them and I've sorted them into different type categories. But this time, I'm getting them all from one source, which is imagineforest.com. I will leave the link in the description. And I have not read any of these fairy tale writing prompts. So I think there's about 50, I want to say. Yeah, it looks like there's 50 under fairy tale writing prompts. And I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, so like I said, these are all coming from imagineforest.com. The link is in the description down below. There is a whole lot more after this, but right now we're just going to be looking at the fairy tale writing prompts. And yeah, it says this list contains a range of classic fairy tale ideas about princesses, knights, and dragons. All of my favorite things. Yeah, so let's get to it. An evil wizard curses a nobleman's 3 sons into turning into donkeys. The nobleman sends his youngest son to find a sorcerer who can undo the curse. Along the way, the boy finds true love and becomes a knight. Okay, interesting. After their parents die, 2 brothers are raised in different kingdoms by different stepfathers. Years later, they discover they have been switched at birth. Now they must unite to defeat an evil wizard who has seized power and threatens them all. How are one switched at birth if they went to live with different people after their parents died? 2 princes are sent on a quest by their father, the king of the dragons. Ooh, that sounds fun. To find 7 items that will make them invincible. Along the way, they meet a beautiful princess and fall in love with her. They soon learn, however, that she is the princess of an enemy kingdom, and the 2 must decide which kingdom is more important to them. So this is a throuple situation? Because it's the 2 brothers fall in love with the princess, and it's they just... Okay. A king sends out his henchmen to kidnap baby boys from neighboring kingdoms. He does this so he can train these boys to become knights and protect him and his kingdom in the years to come. But one day, the young boy from another land will turn the tables on his kidnappers and become a hero. Okay. Okay. A princess is cursed by her evil stepmother, there always is one, so that she will be invisible unless she wears a pair of magical glass slippers. She meets a prince who falls in love with her, but he is unable to see her without the shoes. However, she gives him the courage to do the right thing and break the curse. That feels like a lot. A lot of that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But okay. A man is transformed into a donkey by a wicked witch. Why is it always a donkey? After he is freed, he meets a beautiful princess who takes pity on him and transforms him back into a man. The 2 marry and live happily ever after. Okay. A man returns home from battle only to find that his wife has given birth to a half donkey. There's the donkey again. Half human son. He names his donkey son Goliath and raises it like an ordinary human son. Okay. As a child, Goliath is ostracized by his father's jealous fellow soldiers, but as he matures, he learns how to be a good soldier. I don't know what the obsession with donkeys is for Imagine Forest over here, but lots of donkeys, lots of donkeys. A princess is cursed by a witch to become a hideous beast, not a donkey, until she finds true love. She prays for many years and is given a choice to stay in her castle and be alone forever, or leave in search of a cure. She chooses to go forth and find a cure. This feels very Beauty and the Beast situation, but like role reversal, but also like, I guess she's going out to find the cure, so not quite Beauty and the Beast, but very, very Beauty and the Beast. That's the vibes. That's the vibes. In a distant land, a young man is banished from his village for being different. He runs away and joins a band of wizards where he learns to use magic. He returns home a few years later and uses his newfound powers to become king. Yeah! I mean, look, if you got magic, become king. A handsome and kind-hearted prince loses his parents when he is very young. He is sent off to a castle where he is raised by a group of knights who are in fact the 7 dwarves. They teach him all sorts of important skills until he is old enough to venture out onto his own and find happiness. With Snow White? Question mark? This is almost kind of the first time that, like, any sort of, like, fairy tale has been brought in an official capacity. Like, to name the 7 dwarves? In order to protect her beloved, a beautiful princess turns herself into a hideous troll and lives in a cave. But when she hears that her beloved is in danger, she makes a desperate dash to save him. Not where I thought that was going. Why does she have to turn herself into a hideous troll and live in a cave to protect her beloved? Like, questions? When a girl is born, her mother dies before she can see her. Of course she does. Her father, an exiled prince, trains her in the art of war. We're going to war! When she is old enough, he brings her along on his journey to reclaim his throne. You know what? Yeah. You go reclaim that throne, exiled prince. And you bring your warrior daughter with you. Yeah! When a greedy woman discovers her husband is hiding a magic lamp from her, she uses it to become more beautiful and then uses her charms to win the hand of a rich but foolish man. But the man she marries isn't as foolish as he looks. Somebody's evil. Oh, yeah, I mean, naturally, when you discover that your husband is hiding a magic lamp from you, you use it to become more beautiful and then try to, win the hand of a different man. Yeah. Happens all the time. The king is cruel. Always. And wants to marry his daughter to a beast to save his kingdom. When she refuses, he imprisons her with a dragon who breathes fire. Don't they all, though? How will she escape and get revenge? She won't. She'll befriend the dragon. The princess and the dragon, y'all. Hey, if you gotta marry a beast or you gotta marry a dragon, I'm gonna pick the dragon. I know that's not what this prompt is about. A beautiful princess is locked away in the highest tower of her father's castle by a terrible enchantment, always. Her loyal pet cat accompanies her on a daring journey to escape from her captor and find happiness again. I kind of love the vibe of a pet cat. have more pet cats. Also, this feels very tangled, but also not really. So. Two young princes are trapped inside a magical mirror and transported to another land. Now that sounds fun. Also kind of creepy. There they encounter an assortment of new friends and obstacles on their quest to break the spell and return home. You know what? Yeah, why not? Although, this place has got to be pretty bad if they want to return home. A young orphan girl grows up in a village with many different types of animals as her only companions. When she comes of age, the animals tell her that she is now old enough to leave and make a life for herself. However, before she can begin her journey, she is visited by three mysterious figures: the wolf, the fox, and the lion. Those have got to be symbolic somehow. I don't know, this seems like a fun story. But the animals are just like, all right, we're done with you. Go. It's like, what? You just gonna leave me? An ordinary house cat, there was not supposed to be a pause there, is cursed by a witch into becoming a ferocious beast every full moon. I thought it was going to be a donkey again. To break the curse, he must find a magic spell book and learn to read. But when all the other animals in the neighborhood are scared of his horrible howl, can he ever be normal? I guess my brain is not drawing the connection between cat and howl. My brain's like, what? But yeah, I guess becoming a ferocious beast. But, I kind of picture like a cat beast. But I guess it's more of a dog beast. A wolf beast. Okay. This one's weird. A boy finds a mysterious note in his mailbox. He must seek the help of a band of animals to find the owner of the note before the sender destroys his home. My brain is fritzed. I don't know what I'm reading. Okay. So the owner of the note is also the sender, and so you gotta find them so that they don't destroy the home, which I'm assuming is what's in the note. But why the animals? Why the animals? An elephant that was separated from its mother and family as a child is reunited with them when he finds his way into the city zoo. There he meets other elephants and learns about the importance of friendship and community. This is wholesome. It gives Dumbo. This is kind of wholesome. I mean, I don't know if it'd be a very interesting story, but it's wholesome. So I like it. When a young girl finds a magical talking cat, she befriends him, only to discover he is the long-lost son of the king of the cats. Now she must help him regain his rightful place on the throne. A cat king. So like Lion King. Because Lion King is just about giant cats. I mean, this is kind of cute, Human girl talking cat, but he's like the king of the cats. Like, I like this. This one's fun. Three unlikely animals find themselves lost in the human world and must work together to make their way back to their own realms. Three unlikely animals. What unlikely animals would they be? Let me know what three unlikely animals you'd pick in the comments down below, because I genuinely don't have a clue. A lonely girl's imagination comes alive when she befriends three eccentric animals, always the animals, a rabbit who has no eyes, a turtle who's deaf, and a blind fish. So we got 2 blind animals and a deaf one. Okay. She names them Breezy, Turtle, and Eager. Damn, poor Turtle. He don't even get a normal name. It's just who he is. You're Turtle. Okay. And together they embark on exciting adventures with plenty of twists and turns along the way. Now this I could see being like a series for kids. Like, you know, just like a series of stories. Series of short stories where this girl has, you know, these 2 blind animals and this deaf one, and the poor turtle is named Turtle. And it's just, each little short story is its own little adventure, and that's fun. I kind of like that. A soldier battles an evil creature terrorizing his town, but must first solve 3 riddles. He seeks help from a wise old woman who aids him in deciphering the riddles and defeating the monster. Okay. I mean, this seems like it could be fun. It does. When the Queen of Hearts sends the best knight in the land to go on an impossible quest, he soon learns there are more things than bravery involved. A hungry lion, a sneaky fox, and a petulant bunny join him as they travel through various realms on his journey. Okay. It's weird, but I'm kind of here for the weird. Yeah, so this video is already long. We're about halfway through, so I'm going to make this a 2-part video. The second part will come out in a couple weeks, I guess, because I think the Lilo and Stitch one is supposed to come out next week. The trailer reaction, I don't know. But, yeah, just keep an eye out and we'll get through the other 25. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of these prompts. Which one's your favorite? Really curious to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments down below.